Man, what a week it's been in Philly. Just when you think the Eagles might finally get a breather, boom, something crazy drops out of nowhere. And this one, honestly, blindsided a lot of people around the league. Jaire Alexander, a guy who's been a two-time All-Pro, just traded to the Eagles a couple of weeks ago to add some experience and depth to that young cornerback room, has officially stepped away from football. That's right. The man basically decided to retire before even playing a single snap in Midnight Green. Now, to put this into perspective, the Eagles had made that trade with the Ravens not long ago. Howie Roseman brought in Alexander thinking he could be a solid veteran presence behind guys like Quinyon Mitchell and Khalil Ringo, maybe even push for some playing time, depending on how the season went. He'd worked with Christian Parker before, back when he was at his best in Green Bay, and the idea was to reunite him with a coach who helped him become one of the most feared corners in the game. The move made sense, at least it did on paper. But here's where everything got weird. Alexander told the team he was feeling fine. He'd even practiced, moved well, and seemed ready to go. Then, out of nowhere, right before the Monday night game against his former team, the Packers, the coaches decided he wouldn't travel. And just a few days later, bam, he tells the Eagles he's stepping away from the game altogether to get himself right physically and mentally. This isn't just about football at this point. Jaire's dealt with injuries for years. Shoulder, back, knees, you name it. Sometimes your body just doesn't respond the way it used to, especially when you're used to being that guy on the field. The crazy part is that reports are kind of all over the place. Some say he's taking time off. Others straight up use the word retirement. Either way, it's clear he's hit a point where he needs to reset. And if that's what it takes for him to feel like himself again, then you've got to respect that. Of course, now the big question floating around Philly is, what happens next? The Eagles gave up a late-round pick to get him. He never suited up, never played it down. Does that mean they can get that pick back? Maybe. Maybe not. It'll depend on how things are written up in that deal, and whether Baltimore's front office feels like doing Howie Roseman a solid. But knowing Howie, he's probably already on the phone figuring out how to flip this situation into something beneficial. And you've got to feel for Alexander, man. He's only 28. When he's healthy, he's one of the best corners in football. But the last few years have been brutal. In Green Bay, he missed big chunks of time. Then in Baltimore, he only played 2 games this season. 2. In those appearances, he didn't look like himself. Slow on his turns, not quite as explosive, just kind of off. The Ravens even made him a healthy scratch, which told you all you needed to know. They saw what we all saw. A great player whose body just wasn't cooperating anymore. And in true Philly fashion, this whole thing has turned into another strange chapter in the book of short-lived Eagles careers. Think about it. Frank Gore once signed here and never played a snap before heading to Indy. Zadarius Smith agreed to come to Philly and then retired before the season started. And now Jaire Alexander joins that weird list. The guy literally got traded, practiced, never saw the field, and is now done. Only in Philly, right? So where do the Eagles go from here? Well, they've already started making moves. Alexander's been placed on the reserve/retired list. And in his place, the team activated Jaquan Bennett. Bennett's one of those players who's flashed some potential, but hasn't had much of a chance to really prove himself. Remember that play earlier in the season against the Rams? The blocked field goal that Jordan Davis scooped up for the game-sealing touchdown? That was Bennett flying off the edge to make the hit. The guy's got juice, he's got physicality, and now he's going to get another shot to show what he can do. And let's not forget Adoree Jackson. I know people were frustrated with his performances early on, but lately, he's quietly been locking it down. Over the past few weeks, he hasn't allowed more than 40 yards in coverage during a game. That's solid production, especially with how aggressive the Eagles' pass rush has been lately. When that front seven is getting pressure the way it has, it makes life so much easier for those corners. So honestly, I don't think Philly needs to go into panic mode here. You got Quinyon Mitchell playing at an all-pro level as a rookie. You've got Khalil Ringo developing nicely. Bennett's coming back healthy. Jackson's holding his own. The group's deeper than people think. But of course, this is Howie Roseman we're talking about. He's always cooking something up. And there's a name floating around that has fans buzzing. Asante Samuel Jr. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, he's with the Steelers, come on, hear me out. Yeah, he signed with Pittsburgh, but only to their practice squad. that means he's not locked in. If another team, say the Eagles, offers him a spot on their active roster, he can make the jump. Imagine the symmetry there. His dad, Asani Samuel Sr., was a beast in Philly, one of the most clutch corners of his era, and now his son could get a chance to carry that legacy forward. There was even a little bit of smoke online after Alexander's news dropped. Samuel Sr. quote tweeted the announcement with those classic eyeball emojis. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's something. But if you know this fan base, you know how quickly a simple emoji can send the entire city into a frenzy of speculation. And honestly, who wouldn't want to see another Samuel rocking midnight green? The bloodline alone would make it an amazing story. But here's the thing. You don't want to mess with a good thing. The Eagles have the best record in the NFC. They got momentum. The defense is playing fast, the pass rush is heating up, and that locker room chemistry, for the most part, is strong. The last thing they need is to start moving pieces around unnecessarily. Still, if there's one thing we know about Howie Roseman, it's that he's never satisfied. If there's even a 1% chance to improve this team before the playoff push, he's going to explore it. All of this comes at a time when the team is trying to navigate through some off-field noise too. The A.J. Brown situation just won't die. The man's been visibly frustrated, his targets are down, and now he's out there on Twitch talking about how things aren't going well, even joking that fantasy owners should drop him. Look, I get it. A.J. is one of the most competitive dudes in the league. He wants the ball. He wants to dominate. That's part of what makes him special. But at some point, you have to channel that energy into the right places, especially when your team is winning. It's crazy to think that a team sitting at 7-2, with one of the best rosters in football, still has to deal with so much drama. Between Alexander stepping away, Brown's frustrations, and the constant swirl of speculation around the roster, it feels like the Eagles are living in a soap opera. But maybe that's just how it is in Philly. It's a city that feeds on passion, good or bad. Every win, every loss, every rumor, it all hits differently here. Still, there's something about this team that feels battle-tested. They've been through so many ups and downs over the last couple of years. Super Bowl heartbreak, injuries, all the noise, and they always seem to find a way to push through it. That's what makes this group special. They've built a culture around toughness, accountability, and grit. And even when the headlines are chaotic, you can tell the players still believe. So yeah, it's been a wild week. Jaire Alexander might be stepping away. The cornerback room is reshuffling again, and A.J. Brown's mood swings have everyone talking. But at the end of the day, the Eagles are still flying high. They've got the talent, the leadership, and the drive to keep pushing forward. And if they can weather this latest storm, maybe, just maybe, it'll make them even stronger when the playoffs roll around. Now let's talk about the part of this whole story that's starting to wear everyone down, the A.J. Brown drama. Because honestly, it's getting old. Every time it seems like things might settle, something else pops up. And this week, it came from the most unexpected place, a late-night Madden stream. Yeah, you heard that right. A.J. Brown, one of the best wide receivers in football, out here playing Madden on Twitch, ends up dropping some lines that sent the internet into a frenzy. He was gaming with a popular streamer who happens to be a diehard Washington Commanders fan, and the two of them were just talking, laughing, doing their thing. Then the streamer casually asks, "Everything good?" And AJ, instead of brushing it off, just says, "No. Family's good. Everything else? No. It's a show." You could tell from his tone, he wasn't joking around. He said he was struggling, even told people if they had him on fantasy football, they might as well drop him. And as soon as he said that, you could practically feel the Philly fan base losing its mind in real time. Now, we all know AJ wears his emotions on his sleeve. That's part of what makes him so dangerous on the field. He plays with passion, intensity, and edge. But it's also what leads to moments like this. The frustration, the public comments, the body language on the sideline when things aren't going his way. And to be fair, his numbers are down this year. He's still putting up solid stats, on pace for another 1,000-yard season, but it's not what he's used to. He's been that guy since he got here, the engine of the passing game, and now suddenly the targets aren't there the way they used to be. It's not hard to see why. The Eagles' offense has been inconsistent all season. One week they're lighting up defenses, the next week it's like they can't find any rhythm at all. Jalen Hurts has been dealing with nagging injuries, the offensive line's been banged up, and the run game hasn't been as dominant. When the offense sputters, wide receivers feel it first, especially star guys like AJ who thrive on volume and rhythm. But what's tricky here is how all this plays out in the locker room. Brown's not just any player. He's a captain, a leader, a tone setter. When he's happy, everyone feels that energy. When he's frustrated, everyone feels that too. And right now, his mood has become a talking point around the entire organization. That's not what you want when you're trying to focus on a championship run. People forget how much Philly has done for AJ's career. Coming here completely changed his trajectory. In Tennessee, he was great, but in Philadelphia, he became a superstar. He's been an all-pro, he's gone over 1,000 yards every season, and he won a Super Bowl ring. His connection with Jalen Hurts made him one of the most dangerous wideouts in football. But lately, it feels like that bond's been tested. Whether it's frustration with play calling, target distribution, or just overall team chemistry, something's off. And when that kind of tension lingers, it can start to chip away at everything the team's built. Still, you've got to remember who AJ is. The guy has that Mamba mentality. He's obsessed with being great. He's not content with just being good or even elite. He wants to be one of the best ever. That kind of mindset doesn't turn off. It fuels him, but it also eats at him when he feels like he's not getting the opportunities to showcase it. You could tell in that Twitch stream, behind the jokes, there was real frustration. It wasn't just about stats. It was about wanting to be part of something bigger, wanting to contribute. But man, the timing couldn't be worse. The Eagles are 7-2, sitting atop the conference, in perfect position to make another deep playoff run. The team's winning, and instead of celebrating that, they've got to field questions about whether one of their stars is unhappy. That's the kind of distraction that can spiral if it's not handled right. Nick Sirianni's been asked about it repeatedly, and you can tell he's getting tired of answering. Same with Jalen Hurts. They both keep saying the right things about keeping it in-house, about communication, about family, but you can sense the frustration underneath it all. They know this team is too good to get sidetracked by internal drama. Some fans are starting to wonder if the Eagles might actually consider trading AJ after the season if this keeps up. That sounds crazy on paper. You don't just ship out one of the best receivers in football, but it's not completely far-fetched either. The front office has to think long-term. AJ's contract is massive. Devonta Smith's extension is coming up soon, and you can't pay everyone top dollar forever. If the relationship keeps straining and the drama keeps bubbling, maybe Howie Roseman decides it's better to reset, go younger, and free up some cap space. It wouldn't be ideal, but it wouldn't be unprecedented either. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill has gone into overdrive, and this time, it's Philadelphia making the noise. Multiple whispers around league circles suggest that the Eagles may be preparing a stunning move, bringing Odell Beckham Jr. to the city of brotherly love. What started as a quiet mention in a few locker rooms has now turned into a full-blown buzz across social media and sports talk shows. Could one of football's most polarizing and electrifying receivers really be headed to wear midnight green? Insiders claim that the Eagles' front office has been exploring ways to inject even more firepower into their offense, and Beckham's name has surfaced repeatedly in private conversations. According to those close to the situation, the team believes that his experience, flair, and clutch playmaking could be the missing ingredient in their championship ambitions. Beckham, who has made a career out of highlight reel catches and big game moments, might see Philadelphia as a perfect stage to reignite his career and prove that he's far from done. No official confirmation has come from either camp, but sources hint that discussions have been more than just casual. A few well-connected figures around the league have noted that Beckham has been spotted in contact with key Eagles personnel, fueling speculation that something significant may be brewing behind the scenes. Whether it's just exploratory talks or a full-blown negotiation remains a mystery, but the energy around the rumor is unmistakable. Fans in Philly are already buzzing, Imagining Beckham lining up alongside the team's current receiving core and adding yet another threat for defenses to worry about. Social media has exploded with mock-ups of Beckham in an Eagles uniform, while analysts debate whether his personality would mesh with the team's culture and locker room dynamics. For now, it's just a whisper, but one that refuses to fade. If there's truth to it, the NFL landscape could shift dramatically. The thought of Odell Beckham Jr. soaring in midnight green is enough to make any football fan stop and wonder, is this just smoke, or is Philadelphia about to make the league's next big splash? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.